And welcome to Field of Dreams. I'm your host, Anthony Totera. Joining us right now is Carmine Isacco of Vaughan Azzurri and York University head coach. Carm, thanks so much for taking the time to join us.
Thanks for having me, Anth.
Really appreciate it. Carm, let's go back 10 years ago when a bunch of members sat down in an office out in Milton, and we decided, along with Dino Rossi, that it was time to take the journey to another level. And that was the League One Ontario journey. How great is it with the Gold Cup going on right now, where Canada dismantled Honduras, and you watch some of those players, some of your former players, Alistair Johnson, Kamal Miller, Dane St. Clair. I'll never forget Dane St. Clair starting, I think, the first or second game, and Sasha Sarowski, head coach at University of Maryland, is there in attendance to watch this young man. How important was that start of League One Ontario? And now we look at the national team and those players where they're at. How important was that for the landscape of Canada?
Yeah, it was important to start an infrastructure that was conducive for these players to develop at a high level. We had, by the first year, you could see that we had the player pool. We had players, and we talk about Kamal, we talk about Dane, we talk about Ali, we talk about Ryan Raposo, and players of the sort that all played League One. Kyle Laren, they were playing against Kyle Becker and Richie Laria. Don't forget that these levels of players were put into an atmosphere where they could get better, where they could compete against the best. And this is what League One did. It standardized, a population of great players and gave them the ability to be in an infrastructure that would have them grow, be in systems that they were conducive to winning. It wasn't just thrown together. And I obviously coached in the CPSL, played a little bit in the CPSL, played in the NSL, and you could see the transformation of the game go. And this was a kind of formalization of that was so important. It was a discipline. It was a discipline for all these players to set them up for success.
We talk a lot about the players. We talk about how they developed and how they've gone on to success at different levels, CPL, other leagues all over the world, the national team. But I don't think we give enough spotlight to the coaches and the work that they've done for many, many years all across this country. The amount of time that they've invested, the personal sacrifices, et cetera, et cetera. You use the word challenge. What challenges are there still left that we can give these young coaches and other coaches in this country to get them better? As we know the players have challenges, what can we give them?
Relevance. Relevance is an important word. We have to make it relevant, an environment that's relevant for them, an environment that has a purpose. And we do that, and we hold them accountable at the same time, whether it's through proper science, it's through proper training habits, it's through proper preparation, through video or through analysis, all kinds of things that ensures that they see that relevance, and they have to hold themselves to a certain standards of not only preparation but competing.
Carm, I've got a couple mentors. One unfortunately has passed away, who you know and who you have a lot of respect and love for. It used to be Hector Marinaro, and love him and miss him dearly. He was a true mentor to me. And one I tracked down not too long ago, Fausto, who was the general manager of North York Rockets, is in his late 70s, and I was able to connect with him just to merely say thank you for opening that door for me and giving me that opportunity to begin that journey. Who's been a mentor for you? Are you still in touch with them? What do they mean to you?
Yeah, there's been some great people in my life. I've been lucky. Obviously, one person you might know is Emilio Hernandez, who's well into his 80s now, and he still comes to our games, and he still tells me what I'm doing wrong. But that type of genuine, just sincere love and honesty is something that we've experienced a lot in our generation of players and coaches. And I had the blessings to work with a Bob Gansler. I know he's American.
Okay.
And I know, so Bob Gansler, when I was in Milwaukee, and was just an incredible mentor, just incredible teacher of the game. And he's done a lot of things. He brought the 1990 U.S. team back to the World Cup. Yep. He went to a semifinals of an under-20 World Cup. So his man management, his team management, his again, it goes back to the sincerity and the egolessness Say that fast 5 times. So yeah, so I've been lucky, but if you come to a League One game, you'll probably see Emilio around as well, and that's
You see a lot of young guys starting their journey in the coaching industry now, and a lot of them are eager, they're hungry, they're motivated. But you've gone through it from the beginning to end, and you're still learning. I could say that because I know that you're still learning. What's the advice you'd give to some of these guys today and gals? What's the advice that you think that is key to help them as they're starting?
Be flexible. Have a coaching perspective, but it'll evolve and it'll change. But the one thing that you need to do is develop a proper relationship with your players. Your players are ultimately the team, the engine that's going to relate to your success, but want them to be successful, and celebrate their successes and celebrate your associates' successes as well.
It had to be amazing to watch in Qatar some of your former students, players play. Soon we'll be getting the World Cup here in Canada, 2026. We're less than a year away. We're in the middle of the Gold Cup. How far and how great is it now to see, and how far do you think we can go as a nation if we continue on to develop, learn, and be united, as I like to say, as a country? How important is that?
It's massive. It's massive to go. I mean, these kids were built in a system, and there's so many books written on grit, and so many books written on success, and how people they have to fight, and all these kids in this program, Kamal and Dane have all been through it, and Richie and all these kids from this program have all had to fight. Alfonso Davies and Jonathan David. It's a great story, but our infrastructure must must give them a platform to be successful, must give them a platform to struggle, must give them opportunities to fail. That's what's most important. Our infrastructure and our platforms that we build as a province and as a nation are going to be key to the development. And sometimes, sometimes these kids, Kamal Miller was playing OSL, and we told Kamal and Alistair Johnson and Dane St. Clair, and they'll repeat it. Can you do it on a Friday night in Caledon at 8:30 p.m. in the OSL when there's mosquitoes the size of my nose, which is pretty big, and there's the managers are kicking balls on the field, and they're kicking you, and these build character.
Yeah.
How is our infrastructure going to allow for our kids to grow to men to build character?
Well said. Carmine Isacco, Vaughan Azzurri York University, not 2, but 4-time winner. Thank you so much for joining us, my friend.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you.